You're listening to TurkishSoccer.com's Turkish Football and Turkish Super League podcast. Hello, everyone. My name is Ahmet Turgut. This is the last podcast of 2022, and we'll talk about what happened in the week 16. We'll preview the week 17 for you. So the week 17 will start right after we celebrate the New Year's, and on January 3rd, week 17 will start in the Turkish Super League. So next 15 minutes, I'll recap for you the week 16, and we'll preview pretty much week 17 coming up, because if you remember what I told you in my last podcast, there's a nonstop football going on in the Turkish Super League, because there's games in the midweek and also weekends. This is going to be going on for month of January. So there's no break, as you know, because of the World Cup tournament break that we had 40 days off. And now the teams are putting more matches. Every 10 days, they play 3 matches. That is going to be insane again. But that is the... Let's take a look at week 16 and recap it for you. If we recap, the headline should say, while Beşiktaş, Galatasaray, and Fenerbahçe won their matches, Trabzonspor lost their match against the team that was in desperate win. Fatih Karagümrük, who's coached by Andrea Pirlo, was trashed, and they beat Trabzonspor 4-1. That was the biggest news in the week 16. But the biggest news of week 16, if you ask me, hoopla, and it was an awful call by Turkish referee and the Turkish VAR system. If you follow my podcast all this time, I have been talking about how bad are the Turkish referees, and also whoever's on top of that VAR system above the boot there, they are very, very awful. They showed that during the Sivasspor Galatasaray match. The match, first of all, the referee on the pitch gave the goal. Then he got a call from to his ear from VAR system. And then they waited 5 minutes to decide this. And then he came on the field again after watching the tape. And he called the goal that Sivasspor scored not goal. So eliminating that goal after Sivasspor lost at home against Galatasaray. That is not the point. I know the field was very bad. It's something that Turkish Football Federation has to do something about these fields when they play, especially in the wintertime when Sivas, places like Sivas, Eastern Turkey, do get cold weather and also snow. The pitch was out of sight. It was not good. I agree. But the thing is, the first half of this match, I think Sivasspor was better side. Galatasaray played good, but Galatasaray looked really bad in the second half. But at the end of the 90 minute became 110 minutes. There were 20 minutes addition to this match. Can you imagine? 20 extra minutes that played in Sivasspor against Galatasaray. And at the end, Galatasaray won this match. And Galatasaray, in the year 2022, they closed the Turkish Super League on top with 33 points. So to see Galatasaray in the beginning of 2022 in the 14th place, now at the end of 2022, to see Galatasaray in first place, from chaos to first place, you could say from 13th or 14th place to first place, it took a lot of guts, a lot of work, and also new administration. But this does not guarantee anything for Galatasaray team. Even though they're on top of the Turkish Super League at the end of 2022, the battle starts next Tuesday with the week 17. There are many games to play yet because Fenerbahce is right behind them with 32 points. Also, Başakşehir in the third place with 30 points. So it is going to be a tough race from here to May with these nonstop matches playing. Overall, if you look at it, the scores, the biggest jump came from week 16. I'm not going to give you all the scores, but Fatih Karagümrük, after scoring and beating Trabzonspor 4-1, they move to 12th place. They were in the 17th place. They are the biggest movers this past weekend. And as I mentioned to you on my last podcast, this was a must-win for Andre Pirlo because his job could have been on the line. Because if they didn't win, things would have been very different. Because if you look at the bottom of the table, even this past weekend, week 16, Imrani and Istanbulspor won, and they're trying to get out of that last team, being the last team. Imrani with 10 points, 19th place, 18th place, Istanbulspor with 11 points. All the other teams are Sivas, Hatay, Kasımpaşa, Antalya, and they are all like 14, 15, 16 points. Guess what? There are three teams with 16 points. So from 11th place to 19th place, if those teams don't win matches coming up in the next 2 weeks, actually, it's going to be a week, midweek, and the weekend. They're going to be in trouble. It is the same case for the top teams who's chasing the title. So it is most of these teams are playing against each other, and that is going to be very important from here on, especially year 2023. We're going to see a lot of good matches. But I've been saying that, but we haven't seen any good matches lately because even though in that Sivasspor Galatasaray match there was 110 minutes played, the ball was on the pitch for only 54 minutes. Only 54 minutes that the ball was on the field. That is awful. So we're not seeing good football so far from Turkish Super League teams. So pretty much on the week 16, the games, I told you that the winners and the biggest jump came from Fatih Karagümrük. Başakşehir won also against Antalyaspor 2-0. And Fenerbahce trashed Hatayspor 4-0. And Istanbulspor, as I mentioned to you last, this was the team in the relegation zone, beat Kasımpaşa 2-1. Oh, speaking of Kasımpaşa, the rookie coach, former Galatasaray player, Selçuk İnan. This was his second Super League match, and he coached one match in the Turkish Cup. So far, in 3 matches, Selçuk İnan has 0 wins. These players come out of retirement and with the education for coaching with 6 months, they think that they're going to be coaching in the Turkish Super League. I've been saying this many, many times on Twitter, on any social media. I think they need more time. They need to work with experienced coaches, and they need to start from the bottom, from the youth level teams. That's why look at all these players that retire suddenly. They start coaching Turkish Super League teams. What they do after 5-6 games, they get sacked and they don't find any more jobs, and then they go on to be a TV commentator. that's what's happening in the Turkish coaching situation. Week 17 starts on Tuesday, January 3rd. Let me give you a preview on that. There are two matches on Tuesday. Ümraniye will host Hatayspor. This should be a must-win for Ümraniye after winning their match last weekend. Hatayspor has 15 points. They're also in the danger zone, and Ümraniye with 10. So it's a must-win for both teams. And also on Tuesday, Antalya will be at home against second-place team Fenerbahçe. Fenerbahçe with 32 points. Antalya has 16. Antalya needs points desperately, because if they lose this match, they are pretty much in the relegation zone. On Wednesday, the 4th of January, there are 4 matches. Kayserispor will be at home against Fatih Karagümrük. Another important match. Kasımpaşa, the team that I just talked about, the coach, Selçuk Yunan, at home against Alanya. It's a must-win for Kasımpaşa, but Alanya looks better on the paper. I'll take Alanya against Kasımpaşa. In Konya-Sivasspor match, it should be a very good match, but Konyaspor playing at home with the fans in front of them, so Konyaspor should have no problem winning this match. At home, Galatasaray will be against Ankaragücü. They're saying that Icardi might come out as a substitute in the second half. We'll see what happens. But Gomez in the last game did not score, even though he played like probably 70 minutes against Sivasspor. Galatasaray on top, and we'll see if they could keep this top spot after week 17. Ankaragücü is desperate for points, and Ankaragücü could surprise Galatasaray, at least steal a point from them. On Thursday, the week 17 will come to end. Thursday, January 5th, there are 3 matches. Adana Demirspor will be at home against Istanbulspor, and Istanbulspor has another team that is in the relegation zone with 11 points, and Adana Demirspor with 27 points. Adana Demirspor should not have any problem with this match. And Gaziantep will be at home against Başakşehir. Gaziantep, another team that needs desperately points, will be at home against Başakşehir. Başakşehir is the team in the 3rd place right now with 30 points. And last match of the week 17 is Trabzonspor will face Giresunspor in Trabzon. This will be a Black Sea derby, and Giresunspor with 19 points, and Trabzonspor has 26 points after losing against Fatih Karagümrük in Istanbul. Things could be very strange for Trabzon because they have not looking good in last, especially this past weekend in the week 16. Even though they beat Fenerbahçe a week before that, really they did not look like a team that was out there that we know, the defending champions Trabzonspor. As you know, in the year 2022, they were the best team in the Turkish Super League. They claimed the title for Turkish Super League season 2021-22 season. Now, in the 2023 season, we don't see that Trabzonspor so far in the league. So, in the week 17, Beşiktaş will have bye. But one important thing I'll give you in the week 18 coming up on the weekend, which starts on Saturday, and the derby match between Fenerbahçe and Galatasaray will be on Sunday, January 8th. So, back-to-back matches, and we got to go through this week 17 and mid-week starting on Tuesday, and we'll see what happens. So far, this is the last show of 2022 for me. Listen to my podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. Also, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook. Just write down Turkish football and you'll see it there. And give me your opinions. I like to hear it from you. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you for listening. See you in 2023. Bye-bye.